Welcome to Wild, Wacky, Wonderful Humans. This is the podcast that celebrates the quirks, the courage, and the brilliance of being human. I'm your host, Jeanene Tracy, transformational coach and curious explorer. Let's dive in and uncover the magic of being wonderfully human. Welcome back to Wild, Wacky, Wonderful Humans. I'm sitting here in an incredible location with cliffs and the sea and lots of birds in the background. So if you hear the birds singing, they're just hanging out with us. They're playing with us too today. I really wanted to talk about community. Now, I've had quite a few guests on the podcast now that have really made it clear to me how important community has been in their lives and in the creation of building community for others' lives as well. And, I've primarily learned that community doesn't always come to you. Sometimes you need to create community. And, I've learned so much from each of these guests. Amy Salisbury, for an example, she is an incredible woman. And she started building community just with cold water and connection, right? She wanted to go for a cold dip. And so she decided that rather than doing it alone, she would ask if anybody else wanted to go for a cold dip. And that's exactly what she did. And now the community is huge. Morty Sea Dippers is huge. Sometimes there's 50 people who come and meet on a Saturday morning to do a gratitude circle and connection, and as a byproduct, kind of dipping in the cold sea, right? But it's not really about the cold dipping, it's about the community itself. And I know sometimes when I struggle to get out of bed in the morning, it's one of my sleep-in days or potential sleep-in days. Sometimes it is a struggle to get out of bed and choose to go to the community. But sometimes we need to give ourselves permission to be uncomfortable, to get out of bed, to go to the thing, because once we're there, the reward for being there far outweighs that additional 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, maybe 2 hours sleep. I'd love you to reflect on things that you're missing out on because of comfort, bringing more comfort into your life so that you feel comfortable in the moment, but you're missing out on connection. And this is not a comfort versus connection discussion, because you can be comfortable in connection as well, of course. But sometimes we slide back into the comfort and we miss out on that community. So Amy Salisbury has been incredible. She's created Morty Sea Dippers. She's created Sea Soul Sauna. And they've become more than rituals. They've become lifelines for so many people. I've heard people sit in that circle, both at Sea Soul Sauna and at Morty Sea Dippers, and share how much those communities have changed their lives. They have literally been lifelines. When somebody hasn't felt like getting out of bed, they haven't felt like showing up in their pain, in their sadness, in their grief, and they have. And when they did, the community that was waiting there for them with open arms, with love, with compassion, and with empathy, helps to take away that pain, even momentarily. It helps you to put things into perspective and to know that you're important. You matter. You matter. Every single one of us matters. And sometimes we can get so lost in the pain, so lost in the grief, and so lost in the sadness that we forget that we matter. But how often when you show up in a community, someone smiles when they see you? How incredible is that feeling? And you smile when you see somebody else. You feel this light inside, this lightness, and this fire, and this sense of kindness. This is what community is to me. It's so incredible. And, Amy taught me that community doesn't have to be loud, doesn't have to be structured. It needs consistency. And it needs to have someone brave enough to say, who wants to do this with me? That's all it takes, right? And then Fleur Watkins, another guest on my podcast who, she opened up about the shock of social media bullying after a time on Lego Masters. And she showed up anyway. She showed up for her son. She showed up for herself. She showed up for the community. She showed up for the Lego community. She could quite have easily have shunned that and retracted from that because some of the pain came from that. But in order to see beyond that and to see that the community matters and that she's a part of the community really inspired me to know that sometimes things might feel uncomfortable in a particular community, but there might be parts of that community that you love and that you belong in. And that's really key to immersing yourself into these communities, right? Fleur reminded me that community can either crush us or it can elevate us. And we each have a role in choosing empathy over judgment, especially online, right? We all have a role to play. What are you responsible for? You're responsible for encouraging and welcoming people through empathy and love. You are responsible for welcoming and encouraging people through empathy and love. That's all you need to do in community. Open up your heart, open up your arms, and welcome people in. And Fleur has done exactly that, even when she went through the experience that she did in that very community. It's just so inspiring. And then there's Judy Julin, incredible soul that she is. She brought the frequency, the soul. She reminded us that community isn't just external, it's energetic. She talked about resonance quite a bit, actually, and resonance is something that we need to be aware of. She talked about recognizing each other at a deeper level, about aligning with people who match your truth, who resonate with you, who you feel good around, and who feel good around you. This is resonance. She also said that community doesn't start in a room, it starts in you. So, what are you bringing to the room? And of course, Trudi Boatwright. How brilliant is she? She encapsulates play. She's all about play. She is play personified. She reminded me that play is connection. Play is how we bond with others, how we lower our guard, and how we remember that we actually belong with each other. We belong in a community. We are tribal. In a world that takes itself so seriously, play becomes the portal into community. When we laugh, when we explore, when we get silly, we build trust. And when we have trust, we build tribe. And when we build tribe, we belong. That's our community. Play, trust, bond, community. Thanks, Trudi. That was so inspirational to hear and to see. She's living it. She's breathing it. She's an example of how play is building communities. So my question to you is, what can you do to build community? There's a number of things that you can do. The first thing is show up. Even if it's messy, just show up. If you feel like crap and you don't want anybody to see you in the community that you belong in, show up. Let them see you. Let them support you. Let them truly hear you and feel you. Show up in your messy. You just need to be present. That's the invitation that people are waiting for. Number 2, either create or join rituals. Weekly walks, weekly dips, daily walks. Be in play circles, go to listening circles, women's circles, group circles, friend circles, game circles, where you're a part of something, but do it regularly. Create a ritual around it. Rhythm creates safety. When you show up regularly in ritual, this creates safety. And safety creates connection. Number 3, be the inviter. Don't sit around waiting to be invited. You invite people. See what happens when you invite people. So many people are just waiting to be asked. Anyone out there? Can you relate to this? If you're constantly waiting to be asked, you may never be asked. Be the one asking. Find the tribe or create the tribe. Be the person who makes it easier to say, yes, I'm in. Number 4, play. Seriously, play. Host a games night. Dance in the lounge room. Be ridiculous on purpose. I've been known to do this from time to time. Play drops our walls. And when the walls are dropped, community flows in. People like to see us with our walls down. Vulnerable, truthful, honest. That's attractive. That's so attractive. Allow yourself to be that. Allow yourself to play. Allow yourself to be vulnerable and truthful through play. Number 5, let others shine. This is really important. Celebrate other people's stories. Share people's wins. This isn't about being the center. It's about being a circle. Empathy and celebration for others. Number 6, walk away from what does not nourish you. You know if you go to an event, you go to a circle, you go to a group, you go to a meetup, if it doesn't feel right. If it doesn't feel right, you're allowed to walk away. You need to walk away. If it's not nourishing you, that's okay. Not every space is for you, and that's okay. Go where it feels like a breath of fresh air. Number 7, my last one here today. Use your voice. Even if it's shaky, even if it's scary. And believe me, I know this experience very well, far too well, of speaking up or not speaking up when I really wanted to. Speak, share, offer, but just do it. I remember when I was younger, I would deliberate, ruminate over what I was going to say. I'd be standing in a circle, people would be talking, I would say the line of dialogue as though I was in a play rehearsing. How incredible is this? I would say it 10 times. And then by the time it was my turn to speak, it was either completely irrelevant or I didn't speak because it wasn't relevant. Allow yourself to speak your truth. People want to hear what you have to say. Do you know, I used to believe this truth. My words are not worthy. I truly believed that. And now here I am using my words to share, to connect, to inspire and embrace. This is really important for us to do, to share our souls in community. And you never know when you might inspire somebody else to speak up as well. When they hear you share your story, they might resonate with that. And you might give them permission to do the same. And that's an incredible honor. So why does any of this matter? Why are we even talking about this? Because there's a lot of research on this at the moment. Loneliness is far more prevalent than ever. And you think through social media there's a lot of connection, and you would think that people are less lonely, but unfortunately there's far too much loneliness in this world right now. And people just don't talk about this. And we don't heal in solitude. We heal in connection. We heal in community. And I've seen this with my own eyes. I've seen this with the Māori Seedipers. I've seen community come. I've seen people change their entire lives and be healed through the mere fact that they're a part of a community that shows empathy and shows up and cares. When we play together, we cry together. When we cry together, we walk together. And we remember that we're human. We remember we are one of this collective. We're not alone. We are in this together. This incredible experience that we call life. We were never meant to do this alone. And maybe someone, when you show up, maybe someone needs the presence that you are. Maybe they need to be in your presence. Maybe they will be healed by you showing up and being present. This is why this matters. We are all responsible for building community. We are all responsible for healing community, for healing our fellow humans. It's all on us together as a collective. So whether you start a weekly ritual, make a new invite, or simply share your story, just remember, you are not alone. And you don't have to wait for community. You can create it. So here's to the Amys, the Fleurs, the Judys, the Trudis, and here's to you, an incredible, wild, wacky, wonderful human. I am giving you an invitation to stand up and to say, hey, do you want to come with me? Do you want to do this with me? Do you want to play with me? Stay wild, stay wacky, and stay wonderful. You are the community someone's searching for. Thanks for tuning in to Wild, Wacky, Wonderful Humans. If you had fun, share it with someone just as wild and wonderful as you. Stay wild, stay wonderful, stay wacky, and I'll catch you next time.